You're drunk. You're drunk. Okay. So, who came to the slam in September? Give me a cheer. Put your hands in the air. Okay. Who didn't come to the slam in September? Okay. So the people who did come to the slam in September, you now have about 20 seconds to explain to the nearest person next to you who wasn't here how the slam works. Go. I want to hear murmuring. Okay, everyone stop. That was sufficient murmuring. I'm not sure whether I trust any of what was explained. So I'm going to run through the rules really quickly. So we have 6 poets and we're going to have 2 rounds, and every poet is going to do a poem in each round, and the poems can be no longer than 3 minutes. The only consequence really of going over 3 minutes is that I might squint my eyes a little bit. And apart from that, nothing else really that bad is going to happen. No derogatory language and no kicking down in your poems, but I feel confident that we're not going to have any of that tonight. Judges, I have gone around the room and I have selected the best judges in the world. It was quite a short interview process for it, but I'm going to quickly introduce our judges around the room. Down here in the corner, we have got Charlie and Danielle. Give them a cheer. And then in the middle here, we have Helen. There she is. And up there in the roof, we have Luke. Yeah. Luke was very confident to take the judging position, weren't you? Nice. He wants to see some slamming. Okay. And the poets that we have for you tonight, and I want to hear a big cheer after every poet. So we've got Adam Leopard. We've got Raina Grafer. We've got Diana Thomas. We've got Natasha Dix. We've got Bill Thomas. And we've got Simon Mccoy. Yeah, Simon's got a big cheerer in the room. Good stuff. So, judges, your rules are you've got to keep your scores between 1 and 10. I don't want any funny business. I don't want any 10.5s. I don't want anything over 10. I want to keep it in that bracket, okay? They can use decimal places, so you could give out a 7.2 or a 4.9 or a 9.9. You can go crazy. Judges, because I want you to be as neutral as possible, I'm going to get you to swear on an oath of neutrality. So I want you to repeat after me. I. Charlie, Danielle, Helen, and Luke. Nice, okay. Do solemnly swear. To judge this slam. As fairly. As possible. Without any favourability that I may have to any poets that I already know. You have been neutralised. Thank you. I feel confident in your judging abilities. Right, so before we do anything else, we've got a celebrity in the room. Can I get an ooh? Yeah, what? So Malcolm Rogers, who won our last slam, he was our winner of our first ever slam, is here to warm everyone up with some amazing fab poems. Everyone loved the poems that he did. at the last slam, so he's going to bless us once again. I asked Malcolm to send me a little bit about himself so I could introduce him, and he said that Rhyme Against the Tide was the first time that he performed his poems live. Is that true, Malcolm?
Absolutely true, yeah.
But he has been writing since the 1980s, which I'll just have to believe you because I wasn't there. But I'm confident that that is true. So, can we get a massive round of applause for our last slam winner, Malcolm Rogers?
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so this first one I'm going to do tonight, I'm going to do the one with all the swear words in it first, okay? So we'll get the sweary one out of the way and then we'll do some others after that if I've not been thrown out and sent to the police station. Okay, this one is called Belief System Angry Default Setting. I don't believe in horoscopes, superstition of the stars, so I don't believe in astrologers talking out their arse. And I don't believe in witchcraft. It's all a load of shite riding around on broomsticks, cackling in the night. And as for strange and stage hypnosis, well, what a load of wank. Just so Paul McKenna can put money in the bank. I'm not keen on philosophy, I think because I can. I don't need some old Greek bloke to tell me who I am. Don't get me started with religion and all that it supposes. I don't believe in Jesus, the Buddha, God or Moses. I don't believe in fascism, communism, kings. I don't like Harry Potter or the Lord of the Bloody Rings. I'm a natural cynic, I suppose. Started to rant now, so right, here it goes. Doctor Who, Jack Sparrow, Robin Hood with his bloody arrow, Adam and Eve and the horrible snake, Captain Pugwash, Cutthroat Jake, Albert Square and PS5, Pete and Dud as Derek and Clive, I am the Walrus, too much hassle, Ant and Dec in the fucking castle, pushing the envelope, chew the fat, sing something simple, you simple twat, and up in heaven and up above, there's one thing I believe in. I believe in love. Thank you very much. So this next one is a more serious little number. It's got no swearing in it either, I'm afraid. It's called Laundry. This wasn't on her list of things to do today, with household chores and shopping, lunch with her best friend. But in the night her husband passed away and she faces up to loneliness she cannot comprehend. He was smiling softly, sweetly, she was sure, just as his soul surrendered to a higher plane. The soul of a sinner, which now was rendered pure, in a place where earthly goods do not remain. White cotton sheets that billow in a wind of warm regret. His shirt, arms waving, calls to her in silent adoration. He was always so attractive, part of his fascination. He was the best dressed man that she had ever met, and she loved him. Oh, she loved him. Until that very day, that Jezebel and then the angels took her man away. Thank you. Okay, about 3 years ago, 2018, one of my heroes shuffled off this mortal coil, unfortunately. And this is a dedication to him, simply called Mr. Smith. And I'll just say, as far as Mr. Smith is concerned, if you know, you know. You were fantastic, plastic, elastic. You'd kick the conspiracy theorists and put the hex on those who disagreed. The dragnet of time, so drastic, took you from your nearest and dearest, the priest shot from the hip, in your hour of need. Like a pope of 33 days, you have now been taken away. And some would say that's way before your time. A nation's saving grace, too grotesque to levitate. Mr. Smith, a curious man to find. Thank you. Anybody, just as a matter of interest, anybody know who Mr. Smith was? Marquis Smith, frontman of The Fall. Thank you, sir. We might have to have a chat about that later. Right, it's a bit cold out there tonight, isn't it? Bloody freezing, actually. So, here's a nice little winter poem for you, okay? Because it's coming at the weekend, I believe. This is called Snow. Fragile, delicate flower, crystalline, dendrite, branching, softly, gently falling, white, so delicate, dancing. Oh, I'm just a little woke snowflake. Some think I'm a bit of a loner, just a droplet of super cooled water, along with my sister, Ramona. Do you like that one? That's good, isn't it? We feel all the heat and the anger, suspicion, mistrust and fear, racism, hatred, division, the salt of the crocodile tear. That salt, bitter and rancorous, salt that may make us dissolve, but as long as we all stay together, we can only boost our resolve. For one day I'll float on prevailing winds, and one day we'll gather together 16 million snowflakes changing the weather. A snowstorm, a blizzard drifting, covering the land with our might. United we'll stand in conviction, so pretty, so light and so right. Then avalanche, crushing the castles built on unstable foundations. A natural force made of snowflakes loves and embraces our nation. So stand with me, brothers and sisters, and defeat their divide and their rule. And just be a little woke snowflake, because it is so incredibly cool. Okay, this one I wrote just a couple of weeks ago. It's that sort of time of the year in November, and memories turn to my grandfather. And this poem is just simply called Memories. I was just a small child, my first day at school. I remember you, stood at the school gates, my proud grandfather waits. He waits for me. And in the rolling mists of autumn, you would watch me kick a ball for the school team, or sometimes just against a wall, encouraging me. And you taught me how to fight the bigger boys, to stand up for myself and never fall to my knees, protecting me. And as I grew to be a man, you would no longer take my hand, but you held my heart in yours, you loved me. When I married, I could almost hear the smile upon your face and your pride bursting from your lungs as you sang. You had the voice that pleased the angels, and yet you sang for me. But you are older now, your body once so strong but now so frail, and stories of the war you could regale, but you couldn't remember what you went into the kitchen for, and your mind began to fail. Little things at first, struggling with names, although you always remembered mine, and then Gran died and you were mortified. You fell like a mighty tree into a slough of depression, but you still had time for me. And as your mind retired and you forgot so many things, and your heart, so broken, now began to fail, I sat with you, watched you sleeping, held your hand as you slipped away. And then I remember, for these are memories that never were to be. You were serving in Rimini in 1943. As the sun blazed into the turret of your tank, followed by a German shell, the heat intense, you must have thought that you had gone to hell. And they picked up some of your remaining pieces and placed you in a small box, in a grave marked with a simple wooden cross, along with all the other soldiers who fell. 16 years ago, we finally met. Soldier graves in line, still in the regiment which you will never ever leave. And this was the memory that was always meant to be, as we met for that first time when I was 53, and I felt that there was something that you had to say to me, and I listened and understood entirely. And every year I wear my poppy with pride, and sometimes I am happy, and other times I've cried, for the loss of memories that can never ever be, forever remembered in gloria mori. Thank you. Okay, I think I've got time for a couple more. Are we all right?
Yeah.
Yay. All right. This one, some of you may remember back in the 70s, we only had 3 television channels. Yeah, can you imagine? And one of them was BBC, obviously BBC One, and on a Saturday night, I used to stay up and watch Match of the Day. But before Match of the Day came on, there used to be a programme called That's Life, and it had like Esther Ranson and bloody dogs who said sausages and crap like that, you know, consumer items. And it was rubbish, really, but they used to have this chap on there called Cyril Fletcher. And that was my introduction to poetry about the age 12, and he used to have this feature called Odd Odes, and they were sort of like rhyming couplets, and they were all a bit nonsensical. So, in that style, this is my tribute to the late great Cyril Fletcher. And this is a poem called Dangerous Dave. This is the story of Dangerous Dave, a guy who just didn't know how to behave. Sometimes someone you knew when you were a child, he always seemed feral and always seemed wild. The guy let fireworks off in a bin and wandered around with a devilish grin, photocopied his arse, which he sent as a fax, and got drunk on cider, Frosty Jacks. If you lived in a city or lived in a town, Dangerous Dave was always around, breaking the windows, pissing in lifts and nicking toffos from W.H. Smith's. His hair would be long or his hair would be short. Dangerous Dave seldom got caught, and the only punishment that he would feel was from his father, a clip round the ear. Mothers would fear him. Girls were alarmed once they fell for his fiendish, slippery charms. Social workers, the fuzz and the school, knew of all the occasions when he broke all the rules. He went on a French exchange trip 3 years in a row. Bonjour, je m'appelle David Dangereux. He would drink too much wine chatting to a French lass and bring home stubby bottles of beer d'Alsace. If you went to a nightclub or even a rave, you were bound to bump into Dangerous Dave, selling your gear like a boy from the hood. A spotty provincial Ebenezer Good. When he left college, he got a good job, and he grew out of his habit of being a yob. He worked for the council and then for himself, looked after his family, looked after his health. Dangerous Dave was a danger no more, took the path to righteousness, went through that door. He'd made some mistakes, now was making his luck, but he got run over by a bloody great truck. And I went to his funeral to say my farewell as he went up to heaven or maybe to hell. And I heard a soft voice as I stood by his grave. Beware the ghost of Dangerous Dave. Thank you. Right, got one more. And this was, as Sophie said earlier, I've been writing since the 80s, and this is probably the oldest one I've got. This was back in about 1981. This is a poem called Budapest, and any history students here, I'll put the date on this. It was the 4th of November, 1956. And this is seen through the eyes of a 7-year-old boy as to events that were happening in Budapest on that day. It happened on a Sunday. The air was filled with noise, creating great excitement for the local girls and boys. And so I ran out of the house to get a better view, to see a childhood fantasy beginning to come true. The colours and the pipes and drums were marching up and down as everybody rushed to see the circus come to town. A herd of marching elephants filed past us in the square, and then a troop of chimpanzees led by a dancing bear. The wagons, the caravans, the smell of straw and hay, a source of entertainment on a rainy Sabbath day. We marvelled at the acrobats and giggled at the clowns. Fun for all the family when the circus comes to town. We watched them set their tent up in a field beside the park and made our way back homewards as the light gave way to dark. And after eating all my tea, I sat down in my chair and told my father all about the little dancing bear. My mother walked out of the room. I wore a puzzled frown. Why did my father cry the day the circus came to town? No one ever went to see the circus from the east. No one ever went to see the tamer and the beast. Everyone was frightened of the chimps who hunt in packs, and no one spoke of elephants with stars upon their backs. Nobody was laughing at the antics of the clown. We never will forget the day the circus came to town. Thanks everybody, enjoy the slam. See you all very soon, thank you. Thank you.
When I say Malcolm, you say Rogers. Malcolm! Rogers! Malcolm! Rogers! I told you there was a celebrity in the room. Thank you, Malcolm, that was so good. Our winner of the last slam, everyone. But we have all come here tonight because we are in the search for our next slam winner. And it's not just to have a 10-minute set at the next slam, no. It is for this very heavy piece of silver here. Malcolm's got his on the mantelpiece, haven't you, Malcolm? Yeah, and I expect nothing less from the winner of this trophy. So, before we get into the competition, I'm going to sacrifice myself and I'm going to do the first poem to be judged so that our judges can figure out what kind of judge they're going to be. So this poem is about Weston's brown sea, because we have such a great sea. And I was inspired by a painting that I saw in the Art Space exhibition by Noelle. She painted a really lovely landscape picture and the sea was brown, and someone else was looking at it and was like, I love that the sea is brown because we should be proud of our brown sea. And I'm like, yeah. So I dedicate this poem to Noelle, but I also dedicate this poem to the American who came to Weston and made a viral TikTok about how upset he was that when he turned up to Weston, 1, the sea was brown, and 2, it wasn't even in. And so I dedicate that to him. Hey, why do you keep telling everyone that I'm full of shit? Literally, I am, yes, but morally I'm not. And there's a lot that you can learn from me, actually. A lot of people come to me for ideas. Anyway, I've forgiven you. I've decided to come back. Not like a teenager, but like an omnipotent natural force with a really, really high-stakes job in earth maintenance. I heard you. You were calling, desperate and wearing flip-flops. With the same expression someone might have realising their surprise birthday party hasn't been organised. Look, I can't be here all the time. If I was here all the time, then you wouldn't miss me. You should never move in with each other on the first date. Besides, there's a whole Facebook page dedicated to my Thai times. You should look it up. In the same way that they do. In the same way that they never seem to miss it. Just joy and excitement and never any questions about where I've been and who I've been with. Blue. It's always the colour blue, or France or Spain or somewhere else where the sea is see-through, but I'm not there and neither are you. And quite frankly, I'm well within my rights to suspend my usual timetable if you can't stop stressing out about sending your little emails. You hold your coffee cup in the hand your daughter wanted, and you can never take that text back. I can't believe this. I can't believe this life. I'm going to go now before I give you too many ideas, and I'll come back for you in the morning, and we can go again. Thank you. So, judges, this is when I ask for my own fate. Charlie and Danielle, what is your score? 9? Do we all agree?
Yeah.
9, okay, 9. Liz, get it down. Helen?
9.9.
9.9, we've got a 9.9. Thanks, Helen. Luke?
9.
A 9. This is a good time to introduce High-Vis Liz in the corner here. So you would have come across High-Vis Liz on the door, but she doesn't just do the door. She does the scores as well. So, Liz, have we got a grand total?
You scored tonight 27.
27.9.
27.9. Thank you, guys. So, that's enough from me. Who wants some good competition? Yeah. Who wants a poetry slam? Yeah. When I say poetry, you say slam. Poetry. Slam. Poetry. Slam. Our first slammer tonight. Big round of applause for Adam Leopard.
Good evening. Hello. Nice to see you all. Thank you. A bit of context for this one. Rhyme poems can be quite difficult for me sometimes, and I tried to emulate in this poem. It's called Locked. Well, here I am, and it's that time again to stand up here and try to score a 10. So, give me a second, let me find my zen, and I shall recite a poem for you then. I can't, I'm sorry, the pressure's just too much. I'm gonna use a crutch. But don't worry, it still has a personal touch. It's just, sometimes I just don't know how to say it as such. Because writing these days has gotten kind of tougher, and I'm worried my poems are starting to suffer. To me, you see, each new poem is like a new lover, a new body with all its curves yet to uncover. But as always with each new lover, I'm too rigid, too strict, too stuck to the structure, but really I just need to slow it down, touch her, release the tension and let that freedom rupture. See, it's crazy the anguish I put myself through, trying to create something completely brand new. Oh, how it was easier when I was young. The rhymes would just flow off my tongue, but I suppose with age I've become a little high-strung. I think too hard and fixate on the rhymes instead of just letting the beauty of my mind become realized. I get myself wholeheartedly stuck on the scripture, forgetting that I'm an artist with a canvas who's painting a picture. Though I've realised now, the reason it used to flow so smoothly was because the path was actually clear. I would write without the fear, without all the barricades set up by convention, the use of syllables, rhymes, punctuation, and dramatic hesitation. So I think it's about time for me to be free, to remember this solemn plea, to be kind to myself and to my mind, to let go of the anguish and finally see that having fun is what's key.
When I say Adam, you say Leopard. Adam! Leopard! Adam! Leopard! Nice. Scores. Charlie and Danielle. 9.5. 9.5. Helen, have you got a score? 8. An 8. A strong 8. Luke.
A 9.
9. Get it in the calculator, Liz. Get it in the calculator. We'll be doing mental maths in the second round. 26.5 for Adam. So next up, big round of applause for Raina Grafer.
Hello. I'm going to give a content warning for both my poems at once. I write a lot about sex. First one is about getting flashed. If that's a sensitive subject, feel free to leave. But yeah, that's cool. So this is called Zakshowek, which is a lake in Poland. And then there was the time I saw the same guy pissing twice within 5 minutes as if he had been waiting for me, and like an idiot, I kept hiking until I saw turquoise. That teenage girl of a tree staring at his dick and my swollen feet asking us to leave so finally she can cry, beautiful things are supposed to happen here. That bird leaking a red oil spill. That bowling ball pin melted on the roof. That swollen udder in the sky. There are many things I will not miss. I have been eating ambivalence until I can barely stomach it. The nosebleed of men in varying shades of regretful are street lamps haunting my drive home. And when I remember that time my camp counselor tore up her skirt in the cafeteria to show me the blue handprint from a rock that bruised her ass, I smell the last bits of sunscreen leave my body. Such greedy assholes, the both of them, cracking us open like broken eggs until yolk is flooding over the cliff's edge. The lake I used to skinny dip in has been treating me as a stranger. She sits cross-stitched and illegal. I have worn my ankles into frayed ends, trying to fall in love with each shag carpet leaf, each well-cooked eggplant, each skinny joint. I want it like a guiltless focaccia. Instead, the weather is thick and my body catches fire. Again, I saw the snaggle-toothed water smoking a cigarette. And again, I saw a penis adamant in following me until rusted over. Anger slipped from my hands like seaweed. I ride exhaustion like a drowning fish. Pray for collapsing in like broken fencing. Pray the guy who ghosted me will not publicly post my nudes. Pray the lake water doesn't give my torn body an infection. I wore a howl as a dress, and after I laid slack against the earth with her mouth open, the both of us in corpse pose. Thank you.
When I say Raina, you say Grafer. Raina. Raina. Luke, I'm coming to you first. Are you ready with your score?
I am.
Good.
8.2.
8.2. 8.2, get it in the calculator, Liz. Helen, have you got? 8.3. 8.3. Danielle and Charlie. 9.5. Drum roll. Can we get a drum roll? 26. A nice whole number. 26. Who's next? Where's my list? I don't know. Ben, you got my list? Ah, yes. Right, so our third poet for tonight, we've actually got a couple competing against each other in this competition tonight. Yeah, ooh, drama. And this is the first half of the couple. Please give a big round of applause for Diana Thomas.
This poem is dedicated to any child that's ever been in care, any child that's been rejected, or any child that hurts, and it's called The Lost Child. Can you see me? I am. Can you hear me? I am. What am I? Illicit creation, a mistake, an existence? Why am I? My pack is family. You see us on the street and you avoid us. Identity, respect. I find no acceptance. I don't fit. So you give up on me and I give up on you. Turn away. You try to wipe me out. I wipe you out with drugs, smoke and drink. You disappear. I don't. unremovable stain, I exist. Despise me, move me on, imprison me, hate me, I still breathe. Respect you, respect me, listen to me, hear my scream, show me love. What you did do for the least of these, you do for me, he said. Hear his child. Don't judge. Don't fear. Just love. See him in me and care as he cares.
Thank you, Diana. When I say poetry, you say slam. Poetry. Slam. Poetry. Slam. When I say Diana, you say Thomas. Diana. Thomas. Diana. Thomas. Lovely. You're still here. Right, Luke. Score.
8.
8. Helen, have you got a score?
8.
Another 8. Another 8. And a 9. Liz, do you think we could do this in our heads? I actually... 9. 25. It's 25. Well done, Diana. Right, this next poet... so back in September, when I didn't know if anyone was going to come to the slam, I hung around outside Weston College, and I waited for people to come in and out, and then I'd shout at them, the young people, and I'd say, come to my slam. And this next slammer is someone who did come to this slam, and it is, big round of applause for Natasha Dix.
Hello everyone. So just a little bit of context for this poem that I have created. It's about abuse, especially in relationships, but also consent within the relationship as well. It's called You and I. The first day that I met you, I couldn't get you off my mind. Everything felt like it was perfect. I finally met a guy that was kind. I was treated like shit in the past, but I opened up my heart to you. I thought that maybe this would be different, but I didn't think this through. You tell me I'm the definition of perfect, and the way my image fills your head. You tell me I am beautiful. Is that just to get me into bed? We must work through this. We put our problems to the side. Everything was working, but our future I just can't design. A few months go by and everything began to fall into place until the process begins again, and all I want to do is break from your embrace. I get home from work late one night. I tell you I am tired and that it's not the right time, but you don't care at all. You are crossing over the line. I tell you I'm not interested, but you're getting all upset. I tell you I've had enough. I decline. I don't accept. You tell me that I'm your girlfriend, but that doesn't mean a thing. You tell me that you love me. You can't control me like a king. I tell you I don't want to, and all you do is sigh. I tell you consent is always needed. That's the difference between you and I.
Right, scores. Can I hear some murmuring as if you're trying to think of a score? Helen, have you got a score for us? 8. It's an 8. Charlie and Danielle? 9.7. Luke?
8.5.
8.5. Okay, those decimal points have made it tricky in my head. But it's a 26.2! It's a 26.2! Right, our next slammer, it's the second half of our couple that are competing against each other. Oohs and claps for Bill Thomas.
Thank you, I've got the car keys. So why does your mouth taste so foul in the morning, and what does a tooth fairy do with the teeth? You ask why your mouth tastes so foul when you wake, my dear. So I'll tell you, make no mistake, it's the Tooth Fairy does it, because she's in demand since the building of castles has got out of hand. Mum's told you the story of how she builds castles from incisors and molars that have caused people hassles, that have been taken out as they start to go rotten, or wobbly baby teeth pulled out with cotton. They're put under pillows for the fairy to find and swap for a banknote, or maybe a pine, if you're posh. What Mum hasn't told you, my darling, is why that fairy takes teeth with her into the sky. She makes from them castles with walls that are strong to defend against goblins who do what is wrong by kidnapping fairies and... Oh, this is vile. They put taps in their livers to drain off the bile and put it in bottles to fulfill our demands for green fairy liquid that's kind to your hands. And the fairies are fighting back, building stockades to defend fairy families against goblins' raids. The demand for enamel has shot through the roof, but the Tooth Fairy has to work hard for each tooth, since crowning and capping has replaced the extraction of teeth, which have bits that go missing in action. She's eager to grab what's come out of your socket, since Fairyland prices have started to rocket. No Tinkerbell shield, glitter and wand. Hard hat, roll up, pick in her hand, jeans with a builder's bum, fluorescent vest. Liz! And steel-capped Doc Martens, and she does her best to loosen the teeth that she'll need the next day in the hope that they'll come out, and give her a way to find all the bricks that she's using daily to fashion a fairy folk-sized Motte & Bailey. And if she can't find one, or nothing that suits, she'll stamp on your tongue with a size 7 boots. She'll crap in your mouth, puff on her fag, and go on to next door with a list in her bag. And that's why, my angel, your mouth feels so weird. The Tooth Fairy's been and found, just as she feared, there's nothing for her. She's gone off in a strop, leaving nothing behind but the taste of her plum. Cheers.
Bill. And also, Bill, what a great suit. Like, love the suit. If this was a suit competition, you've won. Well done. Luke, have you got a score, not for the suit, but for the poem? Oh, you did the suit. Right, Helen, have you got a score for the poem? 8.5, nice. Luke? 8.6. Danielle and Charlie. 9.7. Oh. It's a 26.8. Well done, Bill. Okay. So we have made it to our last slammer of the first round. Don't worry, there's going to be a round 2. And I want to hear a big, massive cheer for Simon Mccoy.
Hi.
Hello.
Eco man, eco man, eco man, eco man, eco man. I jump in the shower, power shower, switch it to eco and stay there for an hour. I get out, pour my organic beard oil, squeezed from a tea tree grown on North Australian soil. Eco man, eco man, eco man, eco man, eco man. I pour on the kettle, glazed in heavy metals, powered by electricity from an unknowable source. I crack out the single origin fair trade coffee in a recyclable packet, of course, all locally sourced. Locally sourced in a galactic sense, that is. None of that Andromeda Galaxy caffeine for me. Not when I can get it from down the road in Kenya. But I'm trying. Hard enough, am I? No, but maybe that kernel of goodness will grow. I'm more conscious this year than last year, I know, but the changes I'm making are changing too slow. Eco-man, eco-man. So I swan out of the house to go for a surf, sample the soulful power of Mother Earth. And as I bob up and down in the ocean I love, in a neoprene hat, suit, booties and gloves, on a board made from polystyrene that will one day be inside the fish I'm sharing the ocean with. And I wonder, how will the future view Eco-Man? But I need look no further than right now, at how the shadows of slavery are turning us inside out, how we pull down the statues and spit on the graves of those who were complicit in that historically normalised trade. A trade that snatched humans out of their lives, shackles, guns, hunger, knives, and it raped as it butchered as it put them to work. But possibly, just maybe, in some people's eyes, retrospectively, destroying the entire planet might even be considered a tiny bit worse. So here I stand in my bamboo pants, eco-man, ranting, probably misunderstanding, but demanding I must do better.
That was Simon, everyone. Great poem. Now all I'm going to think about is bamboo pants. Yeah, I want to get some bamboo pants, I think. Luke, have you got any bamboo pants? No, not yet. But have you got a score? Okay. 10. There's a 10! It's the first 10! Yeah. They get really excited about 10s on Strictly, don't they? So, let's match that excitement. It was a 10! Helen, do you have a score? 9.1. Okay, nice. Charlie and Danielle, 9.5. Wow. Liz, we're looking to you. What is the score? It's getting written on the clipboard. It's a 28.6. Love it. Big round of applause. And can we have a big cheer for all the poets in round one? You're going to see them again, but just give them a big cheer. So, congratulations, you have made it to the interval. So if you're thirsty, you can get more drinks. Interval competition alert. If you would like to enter a competition and with the possibility of winning, I will buy you a drink. So, in the interval, I'm going to go around with a piece of paper, and if you can come up with a better name of this slam, you win. But you have to, so rhyme against the tide, you need to replace rhyme and tide with words that rhyme with rhyme and tide. Does this make sense? It doesn't make sense. Josh came up like wine against the slime, or sign against the wine, or
time against the ride.
Time against the ride, exactly, Will. Thank you very much. So if you can come up with the best one, I'm going to buy you a drink. So go and do what you need to do. We're going to be back in about 10 to 13 minutes. Okay, see you in a bit. How are we feeling? Yeah? When I say poetry, you say slam. Poetry. Poetry. Okay, right. If there's still things that you need to do, we're going to run this little competition whilst everyone finishes having their wheeze. So, in the interval, some people had a go at coming up with a better title than, I mean, if it's even possible, for Rhyme Against the Tide. I'm going to read out all the entries first, and then I'm going to go back and read them out again, and then I need you to clap the loudest for your favourite one. So I'll read them out first, no clapping, okay, for now. So first one is Crime Against the Grime. Plime Against the Fwide. Then we've got crime against the wide. Oh my god, a late entry. And then we've got Amazon Prime against the bedside. We've got crimes against the, am I saying this right, Telluride. Apparently it's a place in America. And then we've got, crime is on the mind with you guys. We've got crime against the vibe. And a late entry from Joe Brooks. It's slime against the slide. Another slime against the slide. A crime against my ride. A climb against the slide, and a behind against my ride. And that's all of them. So we're going to whip through them and clap the loudest for the one that you like the most so I know which one has won. Okay, where I don't think I can do this in order again. So we've got crime against the wide. We've got climb against the wide. We've got crime against the vibe. We've got crimes against the Telluride. These are such sad claps. We've got Amazon Prime against the bedside. We've got slime against the slide. Another slime against the slide, but notice the subtle difference. We've got crime against my ride, crime against the slide, and behind against my ride. Okay, I think I read all of them out again. If I did, I'm being heckled. Who's heckling me? The first one. What was that? Can you remember it? Crime against the grime. See, it wasn't even worth it. It wasn't even worth it. Right, the winner, what? I've forgotten my winner now. Ben has spoken. The winner is Amazon Prime against the bedside. Well then, and what you won, I believe Celeste won that. Celeste is 15, so Celeste will not be getting a vodka and coke from me. Becky will have it instead. Celeste, you can get a cake if you like cake. Well done, Celeste. Big cheer for Celeste. Okay, so as I gather up all these pieces of paper, we have officially entered into round 2 of the Poetry Slam. And our first poet of round 2, big round of applause please for Simon Mccoy.
Standing in Superdrug with time to kill, next to the till, waiting for my lady friend to buy placebo pills. And I come across a product at once amusing and confusing that unless they've sold none, at least some of you must be using. The fragrance of legendary footballer, Sir David Beckham. Now usually, a man that's been running around for 90 minutes doesn't smell great. But in this case, next to his beautiful face and rippling abs, I start to contemplate, maybe I too want to smell like Beckham. I look at the ingredients. Penalty boxes, pinpoint accurate crosses, emotional scenes, broken World Cup dreams, and smouldering photo shoots in glossy magazines. Can't argue with that. I guess they must mix it all up in a vat, and then every bottle I'd like to believe gets checked by David personally. Yeah, smells like me. Doesn't sound like that, does he? And then I get to thinking what I could do with that power. My life could change in an hour. I could kill David, sneak into his bed, And then it'd be me in there, but Posh Spice would think it was Beckham instead. And I could travel the world, walk the red carpet, and everyone would love me. I know what you're thinking. You don't look like him, so how'd you get away with it? I'd wear a balaclava. No questions asked. Beckham's worn much stranger things in the past. And anyway, everyone's blinded by wealth, and I'm olfactorily indistinguishable from the great man himself. Then I wouldn't be up here saying stupid rhymes. Beckham's got much better things to do with his time. But I look at the label, and it's 27 quid, and I think, do I really want to do this? It's Friday, I'm meant to be playing snooker with Chris. But my lady friend pays, and we go on our way, and I think, you know what, I'll just let David be Beckham today.
Thank you, Simon. Another great poem. Luke in the Roof. What are the scores? 9.6. Get it in the calculator, Liz. Helen, have you got a score? 9.9. It's a 9.9. Danielle and Charlie. 9.2. Simon, 3 great scores. Let's get some oohing whilst Liz gets it out on the clipboard. 28.7! Well done, Simon. Right, on to our second poet. It's the man with the really, really great suit. It's Bill Thomas.
Thank you. The credit crunch hit Batman. The Batcave is no more. His base is Central Station on a bench on platform 4. The homeless outreach worker can't believe he used to be a villain-busting hero in the films and on TV. He's 20 stone and mostly lard, and spent his nights awake searching for a bat-shaped shadow searchlights used to make. He's got a shop at Lidl, and his costume's getting small. Pot noodles, pork pies, pasties have begun to take their toll. His tights are hold, and rolls of flab replace the pecs of steel. It's good they took the car, he wouldn't fit behind the wheel. Mums push their kids across the road whenever he appears, a tatty, reeking wino, confirming all their fears of older men who stand and sway and swear at passing trains. Bastards! Who wave false teeth at buses and sport interesting stains. Sorry. He never hears from Robin, waiting tables at a bar. The butler Alfred's in a home too doddery by far to keep in touch. He gives a sigh. There's no use feeling bitter. He's had a good time fighting crime since first he saw that flitter inside his room in 39 that gave his inspiration. He wobbles off to platform 4 and cheap inebriation. Cheers.
Yes, Bill, still a great suit. Well done, and a great poem. Danielle and Charlie, have you got a score? 9.5. Nice. Helen, have you got a score? 9.3. 9.3. And Luke and the Roof.
Sorry. I'm going to go with a 9.5.
9.5. 9.5. Get it in the calculator, Liz. So we've had David Beckham and Batman. I'm interested to see where this is going to go next. John Holmes. Liz.
Quick bat.
Oh, nice! We've got an illustration from Liz. It's 28.3. Well done, Bill. Oh, can you pass me that piece of paper? Up next. Okay, who do we have up next? Oh, right. So, our third poet for this second round. Please give a big round of applause for Natasha Dix.
This one is called I Had a Friend. She was slowly sinking into what I can only describe as tiredness. She could not control what she was thinking. What is that feeling of loneliness? If she was a boat, she'd be the Titanic because her pathway was blocked, the pressure is gigantic and she can never be docked. She was only one person, but you wanted her to be 10. She was tired of the exertion. When does it ever end? If she had a plane, she'd head straight to the Bermuda Triangle, so then she wouldn't have had to explain and allow her thoughts to untangle. The mess inside her head isn't easily cleaned up. It takes time and patience instead. The process is easy to disrupt. I had a friend. Her mind was the villain. If only happiness was to lend, I'd give her 1,000,000. I had a friend.
Natasha, lovely poem. Scores. Have we got any scores? Anyone ready with some scores? Hold up your boards if you're ready. Charlie and 9.3. Luke in the roof. 9.6. Nice. Helen. 9.2. 3 great scores. Liz she's writing away. 28.1. Well done, Natasha. Okay, here comes our 4th poet. It's Diana Thomas.
This is going to be such a contrast to my husband's one. Okay. She can scream through a paintbrush. It's safer that way. The frozen blue of cold rejection. Green poison of jealousy. Red. Oh God, red. The pain. Broken, raw. No, I can't let this out. Red is a colour of such anger, such pain. Those memories. Fight them, close them back in the box, push the lid down. Don't let the red seep through. It destroys, it burns, it scars. No, never let the red through. Don't feel the pain. If the red escapes, the screams will never stop.
When I say Diana, you say Thomas. Diana. Diana. When I say poetry, you say slam. Poetry. Poetry. When I say number, you say 2. Number. Well done. Good. Number 3? Number 3's the next one. We've got to get through number 2 first. Right, Ruth. Ruth? You're just Ruth now. 9. A solid 9. A solid 9. Get it in the calculator, Liz. It's in. Helen? 9.1. Got a 9.1. 9.2. Mental maths. Liz is writing it out. She's writing it out in big numbers. Here we go. It's 27.3. Well done, Diana. Also, as well as coming up here to read their poems, all our poets have to deal with the fact that if you look into this light here, you won't actually be able to see for about 7 days. So just know that that's the sort of things that our poets have to get through. So please welcome our second to last poet, Raina. Don't look into the light, okay? It's Raina Grafer. Big round of applause.
This piece is called New Year's Resolution. I want it like the rattle of a change purse, like watching honey drip from the ceiling, like an impromptu theater game. I used to be so hesitant, my hands sticky with the cold. In the dark of a stranger, I would say, now the terror is here, and play dead until the lights turned on. Sex spilled like milk from a splintered bottle, and I carefully avoided getting my jeans wet. I used to wait for Vanter Black to swallow me and watched as my face dripped into the sink afterwards. No one likes a girl with a pothole for a mouth. I am learning how to wear someone else comfortably. I want muscle memory and predictability. I want it unattractive and acne-ridden. I want to speak of our bodies thoughtlessly. I want to know that even in the palm of your chest, I am still a fully formed thing. Thank you.
That was Raina, everyone. Right, have we got any scores? Has anyone got any scores? Ruth in the Luke. 9.8. 9.8. Nice score. Helen. Another 9.8. Another 9.8. Danielle and Chuck. 9.4. 9.4. Great scores. Well done, Raina. Really good scores. Liz she's got it in the calculator. She looks like she's doing a drawing, a portrait. That's all right, Liz, it's late, and maths gets weird when it gets late. Is it 29? Well done, Raina. We've made it to our last poet of the night. You haven't seen him for a while because he was all the way at the beginning. Please, big round of applause for Adam Leopard.
So, does anyone know what the date is? It's the 25th. What does that mean? It means we have exactly 1 month till Christmas. How does everyone feel about that?
Yeah!
Oh, okay, that's good. That's better than I expected. Because for me personally, coming up to Christmas is a little bit stressful, and I wanted to emulate that. So, oh Christmas tree, where the fuck have I put thee? I'm up in the loft where it's too dark to see, and I've just tripped on the box and bruised my knee. The decorations are out, and the living room's a mess, and I find myself muttering, don't stress, along with, who needs this much tinsel? But alas, I digress. The room does look great when they're up, I have to confess. But now the panic sets in, and I'm rushing around the shops, well, scrolling online, looking for all them cheeky price drops. But I guess this year I'll be giving out rocks, because have you seen it's now 15 fucking quid for some socks? When I am out of the house, seeing what Poundland has on display, they've got jingle bells playing, jingling all the way. Like, thanks Poundland, I'm trying to decide who's getting what link spray. Please stop reminding me Christmas is just 1 month away. With a basket full of gifts, I can't help but sigh. The queue's 100 meters long, and I just want to die. Bublé keeps saying, I better watch out, I better not cry. Well, fuck you, Bublé, you're not the one whose accounts just run dry. So I'm on the street now, and the weather outside is frightful. I swear the planet made winter this cold just to be spiteful. But I'm all wrapped up in a hat, scarf and gloves, which is key for survival, and the smell of grapes is wafting around, which is always delightful. Back through the door though, and I should probably start rapping, or I'll put it off every day with a whole month of napping, which would then mean a solid week where I'm flapping, and I don't think I could do that this year without snapping. But I've got the presents wrapped now, which means I can unfurrow my brow, and I really don't know how, but they're all looking quite good and honestly quite wow. I'm feeling rather proud as I put the presents in the sleigh. I turn down a lot of cuppers with the line, sorry, but I can't stay. But they don't mind, as we know we'll speak to each other on the day. And honestly, now that that's done, it feels like Christmas is underway.
Yay. Bringing that festive cheer. Where is the Christmas tree? Nobody knows. Right, Ruth and the Luke, have you got a score?
Perfect 10.
A perfect 10! Yeah! Love it. Charlie and Danielle? 9.3. 9.3, nice. A nice score. Helen? A 10! 2 10s! Amazing. Liz, it's a 20.9. It's a 29.3. And Liz drew a Christmas tree. That's what distracted me, because Liz is always there with the attention to detail. She's on the door. She does the scores, and she does little drawings. Love it, Liz. Above and beyond. Cheer for Liz. Right. So that is it. The poetry slam is closed. Yes. So whilst Liz calculates the scores, I'm going to give some thank yous out. So thank you to our judges for doing all our judging for us. Helen, Ruth and the Luke. Thank you to Loves for such great curry, drinks, for hosting us. Big thank you to Ben, who's been sat here. Yeah, a lot of Ben fans in the room. They love your work. We love you, Ben! Wow. Big thanks to High Vis Liz for doing so much. Thank you to Gary, who's been recording the whole thing. We love you, Gary. Big thanks to Culture Weston. And thank you to Becky up there, who was doing all my ticket and helping me with the marketing and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you to Becky. Liz is still going. You've got 10 seconds of murmuring. Murmur for me. Keep it going. Oh my God, see, this is why I love you, Liz, because you just put it all in order. Okay, the scores are in. Remember, everyone, that this has all been for the glory, but also for the tiny trophy. I'm going to get my tiny trophy out again. And remember, Malcolm put it on the mantelpiece, and I want people to do exactly the same with this one. Okay, so in third place, drum roll, some anticipation. In third place is Bill Thomas. Well done, Bill. Okay, second place, actually, so the person who comes second place gets to take home the cardboard too. Yeah. So can I get another drum roll, please? Nice. Second place goes to Adam Leopard. Nice. And okay, it's the big one. It's first place. It's the winner of the second ever Rhyme Against the Tide Poetry Slam. Our winner is Simon Mccoy. Yeah. Simon, come and get your trophy. There you go. Oh, be careful, it's heavy. Yeah, nice. Be the winner. Simon, do you have any words? Any words for the people? Yes, speech.
Thanks, I'm going to go home and build a cabinet for this. Have a good night.
Yes, well done, Simon. Big cheer for Simon. Thank you so much for coming, everyone. The next poetry slam, Rhyme Against the Tide or Slime Against the Wine, whatever you want to call it now. The next one is going to be on the 27th of January in 2022, obviously. So get it in your diaries and make sure you come to the next one. That's it from me and the slam. Have a lovely, lovely evening.
Make my wish come true. All I want for Christmas is you. Rockin' around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party. Jingle bells blowing a bushel of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of year. A beautiful sight. We're happy tonight. We're walking in a winter wonderland. In the meadow we could build a snowman and pretend that he's a circus creature. He'll say, "Are you married?" We'll say, "No, man." But you can do the job when you're in town. Oh, the weather outside. Baby, it's cold outside. I've got to go away. Baby, it's cold outside. And since we've no place to go, oh, but it's cold outside. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way.